of the heavy hitters in North Carolina battle it out tonight here in Raleigh. Number 12 ECU comes into town, taking on number 19 NC State. Two programs with players transferring between each other. Great tradition and high expectations heading into a fantastic night for college baseball. Welcome to Doak Field at Dale Park with Andrew Simpson, who's played a lot of these matchups, ECU versus NC State. Andrew, what does this game mean for both programs?
You always have that in-state rival, right? So you guys have played against each other, guys have played on other teams this year. So you get a different little feel, but it's always, tempers may flare. Who knows? Always great. It's always a great game. These two teams are playing really good baseball right now. I expect to see a great one tonight. The lone top 25 matchup in the country tonight. And NC State's rolling at the right time. 7 one-run victories in a nice series over Notre Dame. Yeah, 3 walk-off wins. You get the 10-run rule on Thursday night. Luke Nixon, the young guy in this lineup, coming up big on Friday night against Notre Dame. Had a grand slam in that game as well. And then, of course, on Saturday, Garrett Pennington continues his hot streak with an absolute bomb to end the game. A 3-run walk-off. That's his second one of the game as well. That was a 5-home-run week for Pennington. The Wichita State transfers having himself a week, a season. East Carolina, 2 tremendous left-handed bats in this order, all conference standouts. What do the Pirates bring to the table? Yeah, I mean, obviously these two guys kind of set the tone for their offense. I think it's a team that they like to get on base. They like to put pressure on this defense. Obviously there's a lot of feel and there's a lot of good approach coming 1 through 9 with this team. Jacob Starling, a returning all-conference standout, will hit 4th today. And one note, Riley Johnson has been out with a shoulder injury, is back in the leadoff spot. It's a left-handed heavy lineup, so Ryan Marone, the true freshman, gets the ball for NC State. Marone, who threw an inning against Notre Dame in relief just 4 days prior, will come in. Both teams expected to go part Johnny Holstaff tonight. And Marone, who's been a midweek starter, he opened the year as the weekend starter against VCU. And his last midweek start, 4 runs against Coastal in a nationally ranked win. Yeah, and it's a guy that they really like. A guy that they were happy to get on campus and right on cue. The former East Carolina Pirate, Alec Makarevich, over there at third base, records the first out. He shook hands with Cliff Godwin seconds before first pitch, and always emotions when a former player moves from one side of the state to the other. Yeah, you never know. Obviously he put in 4 good years at ECU. It's a great program. Played a lot for them too. It's not like he was on the bench and so he did a lot for that program, but now in the red and white for NC State. Talking to Cliff Godwin this week, all respect between the two and a chance to play it out twice. Once here in Raleigh, once in Greenville in 3 weeks. And Carter Cunningham, who's looked to fill those shoes offensively. He's in the top 50 in batting average overall of all players. Rolls that one foul. Cunningham leads the American Athletic Conference, 30 RBIs, had a breakout year here in the middle of Cliff Godwin's lineup. And Marone goes to the breaking ball. Here's Makarevich towards his former teammates. The best part about tonight is this is going to be a regional feel to this. Obviously a great crowd. And even fans in purple and red can share foul balls. We can all be friends. We can all be friends tonight. It's easy to say 1 out into this 0-0 game. 114th meeting all time. A ton of history between these two. And a pop-up here for Carter Cunningham. That's Josh Hogan left for the second out. These programs traditionally meet home and home every year, and last season they split on each other's home fields. Now, you go back to 19, that was a huge regional. ECU was in the elimination round. They won 5 games in 3 days to win the 2019 region. But look at that note, 2009. Andrew, you had a couple RBI that night, April Fool's Day of 2009. Yeah, it might have been April Fool's Day. Yeah, like I said, this was always a fun series. And growing up in New Jersey, I didn't really know much about, what went into it, but you can tell it's just 2 storied baseball programs, and when you get on the same field, it's always a good rival. You have 12 combined regional championships between these two. An East Carolina program that's maybe the best program never to make Omaha. So much tradition, 5 straight 40-win years. I mean, that right there is just unheard of these days. The 3-0 to Jacob Jenkins. Cowart misses inside, so he'll reach base.
The Greensboro product is the emotional leader of this East Carolina team. And he put on a party in Greenville last year. 3 home runs in the double-figure run victory for ECU. That was in Greenville. NC State, a tight 1-run win last year here in Raleigh. And a freshly shaven East Carolina program. They raised money this past month for ALS. There's a ground ball for Jacob Starling. And a nice work from Brandon Butterworth there to clean things out. A clean inning for Ryan Marone, the true freshman. His Wolfpack will hit when we return. Seton Hall grad transfer Aaron Grawler gets the baseball for East Carolina. He was really good as a midweek arm and a weekend arm for the Pirates of Seton Hall last year. There's only 3 Pirate teams in Division I baseball. They all come together tonight. But Grawler, he's been up and down this year for those arms. And here's the NC State offense hitting over 300 as a team. It is fitting you spotlight the former East Carolina Pirate Alec Makarevich hitting third. And this is a lineup now with his 11 home runs and the power of Garrett Pennington. That's a good 2-3 punch.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, like you said, you brought the guys in off the transfer portal. This is a guy, too, comes into the leadoff position. Butterworth takes over Noah Souls, who got injured during Notre Dame series, and he's been playing great baseball.
Souls injured in the middle of that Notre Dame series. Did not play Saturday in the series finale. Brandon Butterworth, the Western Carolina transfer, really covering all the axes from Murphy to Manteo. 2 tremendous programs. Top 25 matchup, and Butterworth fouls off the breaking ball. There's Elliott Avent, who crossed the 1,000-win threshold earlier this year. All here at NC State. The Wolfpack have won 6 of the last 8 meetings against East Carolina, traditionally playing home and home the last 6 years. Good hands by the manager down there at the third baseline, able to snag it.
He was ready to roll down there.
You see those 23s on the hats of East Carolina and the 26s for NC State. Tonight is an ALS game to honor 2 programs that have a lot of history with that. For East Carolina, it's longtime coach Keith LeClaire, who spent time from '97 to '02. He was a legend in the Greenville area and unfortunately passed in 2006. NC State with Chris Combs, who passed recently as well. His number is honored here at NC State, 26, as Butterworth pops one up. And members of the Combs family were here throwing the pregame first pitch. Francis and Ryan in attendance. And this is a disease that not only affects both programs, but is so passionate to these fan bases.
It really is. And, you know, I feel like the ALS is kind of taking over the baseball world as well, unfortunately, right? But, yeah, to these 2 fan bases, they lost 2 great, you know, pivotal parts of this program. You know, Chris Combs obviously was one of Coach's first recruiting classes at NC State. So I know that was a really tough loss for Coach Avent.
Good snag there by Jacob Starling, the second baseman, robbing Garrett Pennington of a base hit. Wrapping up the ALS thought, East Carolina had the Mustache March. Though a lot of programs do, raised over $25,000 for ALS research. Both programs have major funds, and it shows you how much it matters for these two. As here comes the former East Carolina Pirate, Alec Makarevich, digging in for his first at-bat in colors that would seem awkward to him from a year ago from this time. How much of the emotion play a moment now if you're a hitter in this spot?
Yeah, I think it does. I think you want to try to prove, right, like, hey, I made the right choice. I'm here. I'm comfortable. It's hard to do, and you're going to get some emotion out of them. But I think it's also you already played half of an inning. You made a play already. Now you get just kind of play baseball.
AMAC with 11 home runs, leading this NC State offense. And drives one out to left center field. Johnson has enough room, and the ballpark plays big tonight. A quick inning for Aaron Grawler in the starting rotation. East Carolina and NC State all scoreless. NC State defensively, that combination of Butterworth and Nixon have been really good. Wolfpack top 100 in fielding at a 972 clip. You think about this infield, it's 3 transfers and a freshman, anchoring with Jacob Kozart, the All-American, behind the plate.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Butterworth had I think he's really starting to get comfortable here at NC State, trying to find his way, and defensively has always been his thing, and played great defensively against Notre Dame, looking to carry that up through the rest of the season.
These are 2 excellent fielding teams. East Carolina at 980 fielding percentage. NC State in the top half of the ACC. And this is Ryan McChrystal taking a strike. Ryan's entered this game red hot, an 8-game hit streak, and his batting average has gone up over 60 points in that stretch. This time a pop-up to Eli Serrano, who sports the Aviators tonight on the bright sunny evening here in Raleigh. He looks like Ace Maverick out there with those sunglasses tonight.
Those sunglasses are something else.
Tom Cruise is ready for the next reenactment here in Raleigh.
With the eye black, too.
You know Tom Cruise does his own stunts?
I've heard.
No stunt double for Mr. Cruise. It is a bright night here in Raleigh. Fantastic atmosphere. There aren't many seats on that hill down the left field line. It also goes to show, Andrew, how much this means to both programs. Top 20 teams fighting for a regional berth here halfway through the college baseball season.
Yeah, it really does. And, I think this kind of lifts the, or heightens the kind of hype around this game. But whenever you get these two schools together in a top 25 matchup, you get that regional feel. Now add on 84-degree weather, a nice night, you get crowds like this.
Good battle there from Bristol Carter, the talented left fielder. Maybe the biggest week in NC State sports in the modern era, maybe dating back to '83, the national championship year on the basketball side. 2 Final Four participants, men's and women's basketball.
It's insane. Sunday was wild.
You mix in a top 25 baseball team. And pregame, they honored an ACC championship for the women's tennis program.
There's a lot of championships rolling around this campus that a lot of people aren't used to.
That's why you see so much red and purple out tonight. Two programs separated by just over an hour. And that one is fought back up the middle. Bristol Carter with the first hit of the night for either team. Bristol Carter is the top freshman among all American athletic players in terms of recruits. He is a big-time prospect here for ECU.
Yeah, you can see why with that swing. It's just a low inside fastball. It looked like he might have caught more of the plate than Marone wanted. Well, he just takes it back right where it came from, not trying to do too much. And ECU gets their first runner of the night.
Now the starting catcher, Justin Wilcoxon, goes the other way at an opposite field base hit. The Raleigh native returns home and knocks the single for the Millbrook product. Good start here for the Pirates, back-to-back hits.
Yeah, once again, low down at the knees, and that's where Marone likes to work. So he's hitting his spots early. Just a better piece of hitting by Wilcoxon. Go the other way with it, take what they give you.
And now this is an element of the East Carolina offense. Small ball. The Pirates have scored 3 times this year on double steals and sacrifice bunts. They love situational baseball. And here's maybe the best with the hands on the bat, Joey Barini. This is the Cliff Godwin MO, Andrew.
I was going to say, when we talked before this game started, and in the past they've had the power of the AMAX in their lineup, but this year it seems like they are more geared towards that small ball, hit and runs. Let's get runners in motion. And obviously it's worked for him.
To your point, 75 home runs last year for the Pirates. This year they're top 10 in the country in sack bunts and top 20 in sack flies.
Adjust to the lineup, right?
To the credit of the 10-year head coach, Cliff Godwin, a Pirate product himself. And he's talked about the goals for this program, getting a team back to Omaha, hosting a region. That's all in well position here for the number 12 team in the country. And Barini chops one towards Pennington. He's got a hustle to first and just wins the foot race. So 2 outs and 2 in scoring position. We've noted Cliff Godwin, his counterpart, Elliot Avon, they had a big hug and embrace pregame. And Coach Avon, who's never an easy man to find at NC State dugout, but the winning is certainly easy to recognize for this Wolfpack team. Back in the top 20. His club really has balance offensively this year. Yeah,
they really do. And like I said, I think they're starting to come together. They're really starting to figure out how to win. They might not be playing their best baseball, but they're figuring out how to win. They get those ACC wins this past weekend, and that's something to be said. If you figure out how to win when you're not playing your best, that means that something's going to, you're going to catch fire at some point throughout the season.
East Carolina threatening here in the second inning with Dixon Williams, the Greenville native, homegrown, battling against Ryan Marone, the freshman. Marone, nearly a strikeout per inning, 23 Ks, 25 innings for the talented freshman arm. Part of a top 20 freshman class in the country for NC State. The 1-2 is fought off, and you can feel the emotion early in this second inning, Andrew.
Yeah, you want to get your momentum on your side, right? So, if ECU can put some runs across early on, I think it's going to be a bullpen day from, kind of from both sides, probably more so from ECU.
That is rocketed to center. Serrano can't get there. And the Pirates strike first. A 2 RBI single from Greenville native Dixon Williams.
And you also know how important runs are in a game like this. They're going to be hard to come find. Williams does a nice piece of hitting. Once again, it's a slider, stays middle. That's something that you just cannot get away with at this level. You got to go down and away if you're going to go out there. Now see Eli shaded over to the left field side, unable to get there.
The first punch to the ECU Pirates early. And now it's the top of the lineup. This is an East Carolina team not only aggressive with sacrifice bunts, 32 stolen bases this year, really good on the bags. Northeastern leads the country, 82 steals for Mike Lavin's Huskies. And there you see it early on, a situational play on the top of this lineup with Riley Johnson.
And against a team like NC State, they've struggled early on in the season with their defense. So if you can put some pressure on, make them make plays. They've gotten better throughout the probably last 2 or 3 weeks.
Just one error in the Notre Dame series and won that matchup because of their defense. This is the pressure that a Cliff Godwin coach team will put on an opponent. 2-run single for Dixon Williams, the early difference. And that time the breaking ball gets the job done. Ryan Marone with the punch out. That's his first, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. East Carolina strikes first here in Raleigh. A freshly clean-shaven Jacob Jenkins-Cowart anchors this East Carolina defense. How about this? Only 18 errors in 26 games. This is a really good defensive team.
Yeah, really good. And when you're in that 980 or north of 980, you're doing something right as a defense. Obviously, the best teams normally see themselves get past regionals and into super regionals, if not Omaha.
And the last like 5 years, the Pirates have been in the top 50 in the country. This is a staple of East Carolina baseball.
You got to take pride in it. If you don't take pride in it, then you see the 960s, maybe high 965, 968.
So here's the All-American candidate, Jacob Cozart, leading things off. Cozart, who's now in the top 50 in walks in the country, which you find interesting for a power-hitting catcher. He's very patient as well. 24 walks this season. Now 25. This time he fights one off. That disciplined approach combined with good power makes him a next-level hitter, too.
It does, and obviously the defense speaks for itself. I think he's one of the best defensive catchers in this country. When he starts to turn on offensively from a consistent standpoint, now you're talking, possible first-round draft pick.
He hits one off the end of the bat. There's Joey Barini, the shortstop. And a quick out for ECU. This ECU team not only known for great defense, a consistent winning program under Cliff Godwin. The 5 straight 40-win years are impressive, but it's the RPI consistently. This year ECU is in the top 10 in RPI, continuing to put up regional hosting type of years.
Yeah, I think every single year that he's been there, they've had that talk at the end of the season. Are they a regional host? Are they not a regional host? And even if they are a 2 seed, that's a scary 2 seed to have in your regional.
Fresh off a 47-win season as a 2 seed. If not for a final 2 weeks of the year, East Carolina would have been one of the last hosts. And think back to 2 years prior, they're within an inning of beating Texas in a super and getting to Omaha. This is a consistently good East Carolina program.
No, I think he's brought great tradition to ECU. It already had it. Now he just kind of adds to it. But this is a tough team. This is a fundamental team that they play really good baseball. They don't beat themselves a lot. Like you said, you get guys on base, you can run, you can, do the little small ball, and then you add in some power to that with the bullpen they have.
There's the strikeout, and Aaron Growler with the K. This is Growler's longest outing in 3 weeks, and a good fastball there.
Yeah, after the soft outside comes with the little two-seamer on the inside part of the dish. Like I said, he's not going to overpower you with anything. If I'm an NC State hitter tonight, I'm focused middle of the way. Let that ball get deep into the zone.
Here's the talented sophomore Eli Serrano, who's fresh off a slow series, just 1 for 13 against Notre Dame, but he packs some pop in that bat. 4 homers, 19 RBI for the Fuquay Arena product. He's made an excellent transition from a full-time first base DH to center field this year.
It's not something you see every day. It just speaks volumes to how athletic he is.
Serrano had 2 big RBI at ECU in what ended up being a barn burner game. Both teams scored double figures that night, and the Pirates held off NC State. Wolfpack returned the favor here in Raleigh. Those 13-9 games, those always bring back fond memories for hitters, and not so great for the pitching side.
Yeah, for the offensive side, yes. But that defensive side of me, it's, you just feel like every 2 minutes there's a guy running past you, going to second, going to third, or scoring.
The 2-run single early on for Dixon Williams puts ECU in front. Longest at bat of the game for a Wolfpack player. Here's the 3-2. And Serrano goes down swinging. Aaron Growler changing speeds quite well so far. And his ECU Pirates are up 2. We'll see the Pirates to the plate after this nice strikeout from Growler through 2 scoreless. Two proud colors here in North Carolina. ECU in the purple up 2-0. NC State here at home. Excellent atmosphere. And you get a lot of different looks from these fan bases.
That hat.
I need one of those.
Yeah, yes, you do.
I need the golden locks of that woman in the black shirt as well, and her hair. A lot of fantastic outfits tonight from these programs. Thankfully, it's not April Fool's Day. Or who knows what we'd see from the student sections between these two. Programs that have a lot of fond memories and even some recent transfers. Alec Makarevich, the star third baseman for NC State, formerly at East Carolina, grad transfers over, adding fuel to an already well-lit fire. And there's an opposite field base hit for Carter Cunningham.
It's a great play by Eli Serrano in center to hold him to a single there. Ball's hit hard. Could have gotten to the gap, but made a nice play.
There's the athleticism of Serrano. We noted playing first base last year. He was a natural outfielder in high school. Think about some of the speed the last 5 years. Parker Nolan in center. The Davidson transfer was electric. Devontae Brown in right, who also played some center, was next level for NC State. They've had good center fielders here for the Wolfpack.
They really have. You know, you go down the list, and you know the Josh McClains, the Tyler McDonoughs, Brett Williams.
No Andrew Simpson on that list, but he was a good
way
corner
too slow. Played outfield one time.
Oh, you did?
Not here, not here. It was in like 7th grade. Dove, broke my collarbone, and that was the last I ever saw of the outfield.
Thanks for joining us tonight with Andrew Simpson. I'm EvanBudrovich. There's the stats. That single season record for Grand Slams in a year still sits very well in the record books. You played in 2009 when East Carolina won, last one here in Raleigh.
A lot of good memories in those 4 years.
As Jenkins Cowart looks to add some new memories and fouls that one off. You had Trey Turner, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
In your tenure.
Yeah, Carlos.
Rodon, who just signed a mega contract this offseason. And a game of peekaboo from the ECU dugout over there.
It's bright over there. You got the sun setting behind him.
Cowart smacks one foul. He could be the next draft eligible hitter here for East Carolina. Fresh off a first team all AAC season, and how do you beat these type of sunsets tonight?
It's been a beautiful day.
Mid 80s for the first time in the spring. And that pitch will stay up.
The pollen count at an all-time high, so that's always a nice touch to the night.
It's like triple the national average in North Carolina.
Disgusting.
But it has led to some great weather tonight. Marone working in a 1-2 count. And Cowart chops one right towards the bag. Good pick by Pennington over there at first.
Yeah, 2 really good scoops right there. I thought he was I thought Nixon could have let that ball just go and Butterworth just stay on the bag. It would have been just a long hop for Butterworth, but nonetheless, nice play by Nixon. Good scoop by Pennington.
So for the second straight inning, a man in scoring position here for East Carolina. This is Jacob Starling, who's had both fantastic moments in his East Carolina career. Hit a go-ahead grand slam in a super regional against Texas, but he's had a slow start to his senior year. A lot of conversations with Cliff Godwin. They almost meet daily about working on discipline, building that routine, finding ways to overcome adversity. And Cliff's been so impressed with this hitter's ability to focus in at the right moment.
Yeah, and it is hard when you are struggling or you just don't feel comfortable in the box, and you have to figure something out. Everyone always thinks it's their swing, right? Everyone tries to go in the cage and fix their swing, but a lot of times you just want to talk out like, hey, this is what I'm feeling. What are you seeing? And if you have that good dialogue with your coaches, obviously, good things will happen.
Godwin and Starling met this week about the mental mindset. How did they get in the right frame of mind as this pitch is fouled off? It's a player in Jacob Starling who has a ton of experience, 160 plus games in a Pirate uniform. He was a preseason All-American coming in. Living up to that expectation, never easy. Now he hits with a man in scoring position and delivers a rocket base hit. Look at the speed of Cunningham hitting the brakes. And first and third here for the Pirates.
Once again, it's a fastball, middle. Right now, it just seems like Marone cannot find that out pitch. Had a couple hitters, 0-2, 2-2. They've gotten some big hits so far. Now first and third here for the Pirates.
This is a patient East Carolina offense. 5 hits, all singles. And now Clint Chrysler, the pitching coach, will come out. Ryan Marone, who did a great job against Coastal Carolina and has been used more in the weekend bullpen arm. Part of the reasoning behind the left on left was how heavy East Carolina's left-handed lineup was. And they have a lot of confidence in Marone.
Yeah, I think that's the right play, right? I mean, he's thrown well this season. You want to get him into a situation like this, knowing you're going to need him later on in the season. But I think this is just the type of situation when you may not have your best stuff, but you need to figure out how to execute pitches, whether it's working on both sides of the plate, working sliders down the zone. He just missed middle too much tonight.
So 2 arms warming for NC State following that meeting, which now may make or break at bat for the true freshman. Ryan McChrystal, the DH, now hits in a critical spot. He's come on 2 runs last inning and threatening again here in the 3rd. McChrystal, the squeeze bunt. We told you the Pirates do it all night, and effective to make it 3-0. Hitting .386 coming into the year and sacrificing yourself.
Yeah, hey, that's a team AB. It's an RBI. You get your team up 3-0. And when you run that play successfully and you have a perfect bunt just like that, that play is hard to defend. That works a lot of the times. You see a lot of teams run that 1st and 3rd bunt play.
23rd sacrifice bunt for the Pirates this year, and Butterworth lost it. Starling comes in to score, and a wicked hop makes it 4-0 ECU. I'm not even sure you can blame the shortstop there. The ball just took a crazy turn.
No, that was basically just off the cup of the bat. You could see him throw it out right there. That ball had probably a ton of spin on it. Yeah, here's a good look. Once it hits that dirt, just pops right up. Not much you could do there as an infielder. You have to make that play.
That wicked spin on it. Yeah, you're right.
So you have to make it on the move. It's going to be a tough play at first.
Because you're conceding the single if you body up that ball.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to.
So it's kind of do or die play, as they say in baseball. And now it's 4-0 East Carolina. Justin Wilcoxon, preseason all AAC behind the plate. And he chops one to Nixon. There's Luke Nixon retiring the side. Not before East Carolina adds 2 to its lead. 4-0 for the 12th ranked Pirates. Number 19 NC State up next. What a week for basketball here in Raleigh. NC State, the Cinderella story on the men's side. Number 11 seed, and DJ Burns, the talk of college basketball, rocking and rolling to a Final Four in Phoenix. And the women's program as well, their first Final Four in over 20 years. Westmore's program making it back to Cleveland. Earlier today, the women were heading off to Cleveland. Look at that celebration from a passionate fan base. And Andrew, you'd be hard to peg either of these teams as Final Four participants, but here they are putting on an awesome week.
I was going to say, a couple of weeks ago, from the men's side, you would not even think they're going to come close to the NCAA tournament and win the ACC. What is it, 9 in a row now?
There's Isaiah James, who's been averaging basically 25 a game.
She's been unbelievable.
Signing autographs. Our director, Josh Monk's a huge Isaiah James fan, Zaza. He talks about her all the time. A program and 2 teams that love baseball. I mean, this place is packed.
This is about as crowded as you're going to see it all season long, unless they host a regional.
Which gives you a sense early in the year, the winner of this matchup and this series, that's important come Selection Monday as you're looking at regional berths.
Yeah, this is, like you said, top 25 team, or matchup, I should say.
East Carolina, who's hosted 3 of the last 4 regionals. They were a 2 seed last year in Virginia. And look at this March Madness slate. Don Staley's club undefeated. That might be tested Friday night, at least if you're a fan of the red. And then Zach Edey versus DJ Burns. That's documentary pay-per-view type material.
What is he, 7'4", 300 pounds?
You have a perennial All-American against maybe the most unconventional star of college basketball on a strikeout there. Good start for Aaron Growler. The basketball side is fascinating to me because DJ Burns, he played at Winthrop. He had a good career. He won a Big South title, but has come to Raleigh and now has taken over the nation by storm.
Yeah, it really has. And once again, if you get into your spot and you just feel comfortable and you get that confidence going as an athlete, who's going to stop you?
DJ Burns was on the Dan Patrick Show today, national attention. And he said, yeah, I love beating Duke and I love beating Carolina. That was a big stretch for us, getting it, of course, the most recent one over Duke to earn the Final Four berth. Here is Chase Nixon, who rolls into the shift, a beneficial hop for Barini, and 2 quick outs. So all of a sudden, Aaron Growler, who hadn't gone more than 2 innings all year, he's 8 up, 8 down.
He's only thrown 32 pitches. I mean, this has been the most non-stressful outing of his career, I'm sure.
Growler, who was a starter at Seton Hall the last 3 years, both in the midweek and the weekend, has been mostly a bullpen guy for Cliff Godwin, who continues to experiment with arms. The experiment's working pretty well right now. Homeostasis for ECU through 3. 3 scoreless from Aaron Growler, maintaining this 4-0 lead. For those familiar with college basketball, Jim Boeheim made this famous talking about Mo Diarra's celebration after what, a first-round win?
First-round win, yeah.
Over Louisville, and he said, well, I've seen that before. And what, double-figure wins later, a trip to the Final Four? Kind of a crazy stretch here to even fathom if you're NC State athletics. Right now, though, all East Carolina tonight. 4-0 lead. Joey Barini, the starting shortstop, who has big shoes to fill, 2-year starter. He replaces the All-American Zach Agnos, who was fantastic as a pitcher and a shortstop. And Barini's filled that role very well, hitting .412 to lead off innings this year.
This is where Marone's gotten in trouble tonight. 0-2, just has to find that out pitch for him.
Marone goes to the slider that time. You're right, he's had good good counts, 1-2, a lot of 0-2 counts, but not able to put away these ECU hitters. He's pounding the zone with strikes, 12 first pitch strikes. Barini will test left field, and that'll stay in the yard for Chase Nixon out there. There's even standing room only in the intramural fields back there behind the ballpark.
What are they standing on back there?
That's the $1 million question. I guess there's grass. There's a hill up there.
Is there some? Oh, okay. There's some bleachers.
But they're standing on the bleachers. Not sitting. You're standing.
You have to. You got to see over the wall.
This is Wrigley East here in Raleigh. And a big swing and a miss for Dixon Williams. These two programs will return the favor April 23rd in Greenville. That could be just as, if not more, electric. I love these teams play home and homes too, because you can tell how much it matters to these fan bases. The weather certainly helps, but great teams, good baseball, that's all you can ask for.
Well, I mean, you had the pleasure of doing the ECU versus Carolina series earlier in the season. What a play.
Alec Budrovich in his return, facing his former squad and robbing a base hit. You add in the web gems, and it's perfect tonight.
I'm telling you, the defense of Budrovich does not get talked about enough. He came in as more of an offensive guy, but he has been playing a great third base. That was an all-out, laid-out play.
Gino Groover, a top 5 round pick. That's big shoes to fill over there at third base. Or LeJames Groover III for the formal folks in the building. DJ Burns Jr., we must not forget. So 2 quick outs for Ryan Marone on the top of this East Carolina order. Riley Johnson, who when healthy has been such a spark plug. 8 multi-hit games, all in the leadoff spot. He's a prototypical Cliff Godwin feisty hitter in the eyes of the head coach. This time he fights one over to Luke Nixon to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Ryan Marone. His cleanest inning so far, putting up a 0. Welcome back to Raleigh. Maybe no hitter more smooth in the ACC than the man nicknamed Butter. Brandon Butterworth, 342 in the conference, fresh off a great series over Notre Dame, and what an impact moving from the 9 spot to the 1 hole today.
Yeah, I know he's been working a lot with Coach Robinson on that NC State staff, trying to slow things down, see the ball a little bit deeper in the zone. You can just tell by everything he's done over the last week and a half, he looks a lot more comfortable here at NC State.
Enters this game on a 6-game hit streak and has only made 1 error in the last 3 weeks. All around stepping up for NC State. Longtime shortstop Peyton Green transferred interconference to Georgia Tech. Josh Hood, the previous starter. It's been a carousel of shortstops. A lot of grad transfers coming in too. And that time Butterworth gets hit. The first runner to reach base for NC State tonight. That will not feel as smooth as butter, I can guarantee you.
At least it was a curveball. Whenever you get the off speed, you can kind of work with it, but
the bruise will be easier, that's for sure.
It's the 94 to 97 into the back that you just don't really enjoy.
So here comes head coach Cliff Godwin, and the Pirates are set to make a pitching change. This is an East Carolina bullpen, top 10 in the country in bullpen ERA. We'll get a quick look at it here in the fourth, as Coach Godwin makes his call to the pen. And in comes the new arm for ECU. We'll introduce you to the right-hander when we come back here in this top 25 matchup. Aaron Grawler in his longest start in an ECU uniform. Very effective for the Seton Hall transfer. So he'll give way after giving up his first base runner of the night to one of the stud relievers in the country. Stopper of the Year watch list semifinalist Danny Beal will enter for ECU. And this senior from Reagan High School in Winston-Salem, he has been a heavily relied upon option through 3 innings against UAB, and he's thrown a ton of innings this year. 16th outing for Beal. That's top 5 in the country and a highly trusted arm for ECU.
Yeah, 16 outings so far in this young season. Like I said, he likes to come out of the bullpen. He's a dominant arm. You can see he drops down to that side, kind of 3/4 arm slot. This is a tough guy to face.
This is an East Carolina bullpen under pitching coach Austin Knight. That's insane numbers.
Insane.
2.02, the best bullpen ERA of any team in the country. The staff's top 5 in ERA. And this is a staff that may not have the depth of 9-10 arms, but some really good ones up top. Danny Beal, the first one to come in. He'll face the stud, Garrett Pennington, who's fresh off a game-winning walk-off homer Saturday against Notre Dame. Those were 2 tight games, back-to-back wins, Friday night, Saturday afternoon. That goes off the end of the bat for Pennington. And a foot race won by the Pirates. Good coverage by Carter Cunningham. Alec Makarevich, who spent 4 years at ECU, not only was 3-time All-Conference, but 28 career home runs. Such a threat for the switch hitter. And his first game facing his former squad. A deep fly out the first time, and so productive in his 4 years in Greenville.
Yeah, it really was. And like I say, it's a kind of mutual understanding. Hey, we're going to part ways, and he's going to come to NC State. And so far, NC State has welcomed him into this lineup. 7 home runs in March, 11 on the year.
AMAC, 6th in the country in RBI per game, drives in over a run and a half. Has been a huge productive piece for Elliott Avent. This time he chops a second ball off that shin guard. And his bat is only picked up in the conference for Coach Avent. 5 home runs in ACC play, and this team is 3 weeks into conference.
No, like I said, he's been a really nice addition to this lineup. I think and the addition of Pennington in front of him, it's just a nice 1-2 punch that they have there.
Danny Beal elevates with the fastball, and that one might just mean a little more to Mr. Beal on the mound.
Yeah, it definitely does. You can hear the ECU crowd be a little bit louder on that strikeout cheer.
Mutual respect between the two parties, but you know it certainly has a pain, a thorn in the side for both programs. It matters. Now Jacob Cozart gets a good pitch, but he pops it up. Cozart gives it a drive, and it stays in the park.
The wind, no wind today.
Not too kind to Cozart. Hits it about as far as you can, but it doesn't leave the yard. And 4 scoreless innings for East Carolina. Both these programs so much honoring ALS and East Carolina specifically having a Mustache March Madness, raising over $20,000 in the fight against ALS. Longtime coach Keith LeClaire passed over 20 years ago in Greenville Nation, honoring their coach year after year with this Mustache Challenge. Both these programs take great pride in ALS, and for ECU, a neat thing to see with some clean-shaven stashes and great money raised. Coach LeClaire, who not only made 4 NCAA appearances, but was one of the founding fathers of the new stadium in Greenville. Helped put that together, the architect of great success at ECU. And anytime you talk ALS and talk these programs, it's important to mention things like this.
Yeah, it really is. Like you said, they both programs, they just there's a ton of money involved. And once again, I think we did it before. I think it was shaving your head. I don't know if it was for ALS, but just a really great cause, and it kind of, it's always bigger than the game, right? So really nice that both programs will do that and raise a bunch of money for it.
Chris Combs and Coach LeClaire, your prayers and your family and our thoughts tonight as we honor ALS in this ball game for both programs. Here's the first pitch of the top of the 5th, and Carter Cunningham pops one up. Makarevich has a long way to go, and he tracks it down for the first out. AMAC facing his former squad. Doesn't look very phased so far. He's been locked in, having an all-ACC type of year for NC State. And these two were dynamic. Jacob Jenkins-Coward and Alec Makarevich last year. Both had double-figure homers, and that ball's off the foot of Marone and results in an infield single.
Was that off the foot or the rubber?
Great question. The athletic training staff will come out and check with Marone. I think Marone's saying it didn't hit his foot.
Oh, yeah, it definitely did. It actually might have been higher than his foot.
Oh, off that right leg, too. So Clint Chrysler will come out. Coach Avent wants the report as well. So a pitching change here for a variety of reasons. They'll check on Marone and go to the pen. NC State to bring in a new pitcher when we come back. So far, all East Carolina. We'll have plenty more here from Raleigh when we return. A quality effort for Ryan Marone, and NC State will continue to check on him. You see Coach Avens saying, hey, show me where you got hit. Oh, that's a bruise. Oh, yeah.
That's a quick bruise.
We thought it was the shin, but wow, it's a tough hit.
Hey, do you see this?
Like, he said he was fine, but that actually looks like it hurts.
That's when the athlete will always be like, yeah, I'm good, until you see the bruise.
And that thing will swell like a lollipop in no time. So Heath Andrews comes in out of the NC State bullpen. First appearance for Heath since the Notre Dame series. 2 innings scoreless. He's pitched in 3 ACC weekends and now in a big spot here in the 5th.
Yeah, really is. And it's just another guy that they like out of the bullpen. Got a really good arm. It's just a matter of getting him going, getting him consistent, throwing strikes. It's a low 90s fastball. Once again, they just got to get this bullpen going. This is a high ERA, team ERA right now.
As Starling pops up the first pitch. That'll certainly help the pen. 1 pitch, 1 out. To your point, NC State staff, a 6.5 team ERA, but you take out the starters and it elevates closer to 8. They've had high-scoring games this year. Now, the one area Elliot Avens very impressed with, the 7 one-run victories. They've been able to overcome some pitching woes and grind out wins.
Yeah, that's something that a coach is always impressed with, but hates that it's on his on the resume, right?
You live and you die by it, certainly. Lead the ACC in one-run victories this year. And McChrystal goes back up the middle, a hanging breaking ball, and the 8th hit of the game for the ECU Pirates.
Just a really nice, simple approach. It's a slider. Once again, every single ball that they've hit hard tonight has been middle off of an off-speed pitch. Hit a couple fastballs early in the game, but everything that's been gap to gap for them has been off-speed, right in the middle of the plate. It's a team that will take advantage of those types of pitches thrown by NC State.
Here's the speedster Bristol Carter, who crashed into a wall on Tuesday against UNC Wilmington. He was running full speed and made the catch. It was a SportsCenter top 10 play. He literally did not stop. He caught it and crashed into the wall. The folks in the jungle absolutely loved it there in Greenville. Carter, who's the highest ranked freshman of all players coming into the American Athletic Conference. He's from nearby Northwest Guilford High School. From the triad to the triangle tonight. Hitters count here for Bristol Carter, the true freshman, against Heath Andrews, his freshman counterpart. Carter into the hole. Butterworth, what a throw! My goodness! Silky smooth as butter. So that ends the inning. Brandon Butterworth with an absolute cannon. Derek Jeter-esque over there on the left side, keeping this a 4-0 game. We got great news for that baby. It's on ACC Network, the softball doubleheader. Number 11 Virginia Tech takes on NC State. And then North Carolina, under first-year head coach, battles Marissa Young's top 5 Duke squad. Coverage at 5 Eastern. Duke is dominating in ACC softball right now. Now in first place, they just swept Virginia Tech. It's a good year in the ACC. 6 projected in the regionals.
Was that program 4 years old?
The fifth year is this year, but very young. They're coming off an ACC tournament title, Duke. On the baseball side, 8 top 25 teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And then in comes a uberly talented number 12 East Carolina. One of the rare moments where purple and red blend in so well. There's the NC State student section. Between the jungle in Greenville and Avon's Army here in Raleigh, we got 2 passionate fan bases tonight. And Danny Beal back to work for the 5th inning. Beal is an Iron Man, literally and figuratively. Top 5 in the country in appearances out of the bullpen this year. Gavin Galley of Nicholls State, he holds the title by a slim margin, 18 outings. Beal at 16. And Beal can flip it in from all different angles there for a strike.
I'm saying that's a really good off-speed pitch, and that's more of his go-to. You know, like I said, he will drop down to that 3/4 arm slot.
Then Beal goes over the top and misses inside.
It was always tough to face guys like this because of the release point. You just never know where they're going to come from. You try to locate or, you know, just lock in on one spot, but against a guy like this, you cannot do that. So you take guessing to another level when you face a guy with multiple arm slots.
Then you add in over his last 20 innings of work, 1 earned run. This guy's been rock solid. He got a check swing that time, called up by the home plate umpire, Greg Street. Joe Blumenauer, Thomas Newsom, and the always savvy Steve Sanders over at third base. So Josh Hogan a full count to begin this 5th inning. Induces weak contact out of play. NC State still held hitless in this game, and their 1 runner was a hit by pitch last inning.
Yeah, I think Growler, you know, kept them off balance with the off speed early on. Like I said, if you're NC State, you have to make an adjustment in game, especially when you're going to face multiple pitchers.
And that time Beal misses, so a walk to begin the 5th. This East Carolina bullpen, they only walk on average 1 hitter every 4 innings. Only 80 walks all year and 250 innings of work.
If you're a coach, you're going to take that all day long. Honestly, if you're a hitter too, I want to be able to go up there and know I'm going to see strikes and I'm going to swing at strikes.
Top 10 in the country in K to walk ratio. So they're pounding the zone consistently. And now let's see if Coach Chris Hart over there at third has some small ball dialed up for NC State. Arkansas leads the country in strikeout to walk ratio, 4.3 for the Razorbacks this year. As Beal flips in the bender that catches the zone for a strike. It's not where the catcher catches it, where it crosses the plate.
It's that little backdoor slider. He's probably wanting to get that to the back foot of Eli, but unable to do so, but it works out for him.
Now Danny Beal's 1-1. And he jams Serrano. That's the pitch you're asking about, getting it on the hands.
That's exactly right. And especially after you get the eyes looking on the outside part of the dish, you come with a fastball on the inside part, try to get up underneath the hands. And this is where Eli can be so good. He has such good hands. If you just let him trust them and just throw the barrel at the baseball, that's where he's at his best.
Serrano rockets one foul. In the words of Russell Wilson, Wolfpack Nation, let's ride. Huge home run in the comeback over Duke 2 weeks prior in the ACC. He is long and lanky, but when he makes contact, he can hit at the country mile. 4 home runs this year.
Sure can.
I guess they call them the quick twitch hitters, who create so much torque with their hands.
He definitely is that.
So he sits at a 1-2 count. I think that's the splitter there from Danny Beal.
That thing had a lot of movement. I normally watch the TV up here in the booth, but I was watching that pitch on the field, and that ball had some depth to it. If he's able to locate that, good luck to these hitters.
Danny Beal in his 92nd career appearance here for ECU, working in the 4-0 lead. Challenges Serrano. This one is blasted out of play. An offense for NC State that came in averaging 8.5 runs a game, but held hitless through 4+ innings. We thought the storylines were 12-10. Let's see who can slug it out.
That's what you said. It's been the opposite tonight so far.
Serrano looks to change that with a base hit. And there's the first knock for the Wolfpack.
And that's what I'm talking about with his hands. You know, it's an off-speed pitch on the inside part of the dish where everything else has been away, but he just gets that barrel on the inside part, stays tall with it. That's a quality hitter right there.
So NC State with its first hit of the game, and now longtime pitching coach Austin Knight will have a quick chat before Alex Sosa checks in. Left-hander ready in the ECU bullpen just in case. What a job here for Austin Knight's staff. Third in the country in ERA. Top 25 last year as a pitching staff. Now the weekend arms have been really good. Zach Root, Trey Savage, but the depth of the pen certainly helps.
Yeah, it definitely does. You know, when you have the confidence in guys to come in and just do their job, you know, whether it be 1 out, 2 innings, 3 innings, that is a nice luxury to have as a college baseball coach.
A 2.02 bullpen ERA. And they're going to stick with the arm right now. Eric Ritchie warming up in the pen. Ritchie was really good last week against Wilmington in a back-and-forth battle. Another 1-run win for the Pirates. So veteran senior arm, a National Stopper of the Year award, watch list arm, Danny Beal working here in the pen. And here's Alex Sosa, the freshman DH. Then you throw in the filthy sidearm, and good luck as a left-handed hitter.
Haven't seen much of it tonight, but that's what you're going to get. He's able to throw it, throw for a strike too.
Opponents are hitting 143 against Beal this year, which is nasty with pitches like that.
Yeah, let me give you the sidearm fastball, then we'll go to the splitter. Now does he drop back down and go slider? That would be the question. Everything's been away so far. Does he change the eyesight to come in?
Can he go full circle here, touch all parts of the zone? Oh, and another breaking ball. Good squeeze by Wilcoxon there on the strikeout.
I think that was more of the changeup that he does throw. Yeah, you can see that circle change grip. Good luck.
He's got Avengers type stuff. So many superpowers in the arm slot of Danny Beal. That time a good stop from Wilcoxon holding the runner in scoring position. So Chase Nixon, whose younger brother Luke will hit next. Chase had a 3-hit game on Saturday against Notre Dame. Chase goes back up the middle. Long run and a nice catch for Johnson. Riley's got a cannon out there in center, but a little bit of an awkward bounce. Starling lost it, and everyone's safe. Aggressive base running pays off for Josh Hogue.
He's gonna watch that video back and thank God that Starling did not pick that ball up cleanly. I think he just didn't know where Starling was. And the throw from Johnson just plays right in front of you. So, you obviously see the runner not going, not tagging. Throw doesn't have to be made.
He kind of yanked his throw, too.
He did, yeah.
Which then forced the shortstop, Rainey, to hustle over. So now 2 in scoring position for younger brother, Luke Nixon. Both the Nixon, son of the former big leaguer, 10-year vet, Trot Nixon. Luke's having a red-hot start to his freshman year. And more impressively, with men in scoring position, a 400 hitter for a true freshman. 6 RBI for Luke.
Yeah, I think he just really understands the zone. He understands what he's looking for. That's why you see that 300 batting average on the year. He's a very mature hitter.
Luke fresh off a 6 RBI series against Notre Dame, helping fuel the sweep. Takes a filthy pitch for strike 2.
Yeah, 2 really good sliders. It's going to keep this NC State offense off balance. Just has to fight here and put something in play. Got that 6-hole wide open with the shift on.
One of the best bullpen arms in America here on 1-2. Hits Nixon. Now, did the batter attempt to swing as the appeal, and no swing, so the bases are loaded? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a strikeout.
That would be a strikeout, yeah. Yeah, it's just a slider on the inside part of the dish. Yeah, it definitely did not go. Catches in the kneecap.
There's been 2 wacky injuries today. One for Marone, who will have a nasty bruise tomorrow. Nixon maybe not as much, but he's on the bases. This is one of those games where I don't see many players electing to come out.
No, you'd have to probably chop my leg off to come out of this type of ball game. It's a big spot here for Butterworth.
So the bases are loaded for the grad senior shortstop, Brandon Butterworth, by way of Western Carolina. Butterworth lines to short. Nice snag by Joey Barini, his counterpart, robbing a base hit. NC State strands the bases loaded in East Carolina. A huge sigh of relief. Two weeks into American Athletic play, Wichita State, who was picked 7th in the preseason poll, 5-1 start. They'll actually head to Greenville in just over a week. That'll be an epic matchup. And ECU, who had 9 of the 10 preseason votes for #1, they're back to a 4-2 start. Right now, though, East Carolina, a great midweek effort so far. 4-0 lead here in Raleigh. And on the first pitch, Justin Wilcoxon shoots one to right. This ball stays in the yard for Serrano, and a loud first out. Meanwhile, in the serial alphabet from AAC to ACC, how about 4 ranked teams in the Atlantic Division, 8 overall, and Clemson having a great start, 7-2 in the conference.
Yeah, we talked about how good the ACC has been this year. You know, when you look at it, Wake Forest 4-8, and they started season #1 overall, so this is a tough conference to play.
How dangerous is NC State? They've played a lighter half of the schedule, but what makes them dangerous come May?
I think what I said before, you know, right now they're figuring out ways to win in conference, and they're not even playing their best baseball. So I think if they start this, you know, this April stretch and you got to get better from the pitching side of things. I think that will solve a lot of their issues. Their offense is going to hit. I think they played well in the ACC from an offensive standpoint, and then they struggled pitching. And I think if you clean that up, now your team's a little bit more complete.
An NC State team that'll face nationally ranked Clemson, Carolina, Florida State, Virginia, and Wake in 5 of the next conference series. It is a heavy dose here for Elliott Avens Club. As there's a strike into Joey Barini. Yet, as you mentioned, East Carolina has won the games they've needed to, 8-4 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Third best record behind North Carolina and Clemson. And then how about Virginia Tech at 10-2? They're swinging the bats outstanding.
That's always a team that, I feel like is kind of the sneaky good, comes in into the season not ranked or anything like that, no eyes on them, and then they start putting up some good numbers.
Virginia Tech, who leads the conference with 60 home runs, always a ton of power in Blacksburg. And they've countered that with a good start, 10-2 in the league. So here's the 3-2. A hard chopper to Nixon, who's been solid over there at second for the second out. Meanwhile, on the other half of the bracket, we talked about the Virginia Tech start, but Duke at number 9, even though they're 500, maybe one of the best pitching teams in the country.
Yeah, they really are. And, Carolina's playing good baseball. Virginia is a team that does not beat themselves. Duke, we saw them here a couple weeks ago at NC State. And
Miami has a series win over Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a roller coaster over a year. I feel like every weekend you may see a sweep or you may get swept.
That ball lands fair, and a chance for extra bases for Dixon Williams. How about the Greenville product, repping his whole local squad there with 2 hits.
That's a really nice job to extend this inning after 2 quick outs. It's a fastball, kind of gets jammed a little bit, just fists out there to left field.
Sometimes when you hit them where they ain't, it's just as effective.
That's the name of the game.
8 hits for the Pirates tonight. And now back to the top of this lineup where ECU's been very clutch. Riley Johnson. But first, a quick chat with Cozart. Who, while we have a minute, his father, Craig Cozart, longtime coach at High Point, now regional scout, he helps restitch the webbing for Jacob. He's used that same glove for 3 years, and I was running into Craig pregame. He restitched the entire webbing of the glove because it came loose last series.
Have you ever seen that done before?
I need to at some point.
It's impressive.
With the heat press and then the sticky glue to get it all to come together. That is the OG glove for Cozart he's used since day one for an All-American catcher. Because you know the nuances of it. You can't change the leather too quick.
No, you can. You got to get, once you're comfortable with a glove, you tend to stick with that glove. I actually just ripped out my gloves out of my closet the other day.
For your golf game?
No. Golf game is, it's there. It's not very good, but it's there.
So there's the All-American Cozart with some fresh webbing from the Cozart family. His older brother Caleb plays at UNC Greensboro. Those two got to meet up a month ago here in Raleigh. And now the pitching change is most likely coming. PJ Labriola was warming up in the state pen. Heath Andrews, who entered for an inning in the 3rd so far. And now Greg Street looking for an answer. Well, I'll give Clint Chrysler credit. He's given his pitcher a ton of time to warm up here. Knows how to work the system. And now a bullpen action coming up. NC State heading to its pen here in the 6th. A tight top 25 matchup with more coming up next. New arm PJ Labriola, who would star in Parks and Rec with that type of major. Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. Would you sign up for that? A little Parks and Rec action?
I think I probably took a few classes from that major.
Well, on NBC, you can watch that show coming up tonight. That being said, the Clemson transfer comes in. 13 outings last year. And Labriola had a tough outing against Coastal Carolina. Gave up 3 runs just 2 weeks prior. How does he settle into this spot here in the 6th?
Yeah, I think it's a, once again, it's a big spot with a guy on second with 2 outs. ECU's doing a nice job of extending innings, getting some 2-out hits. But once again, you want to come into this situation. As a pitcher, you want to be in the situation. Now you just have to execute your pitches.
It's interesting how both teams handle this game. Big weekend series coming up. NC State will head to Louisville. Always a tough matchup, especially in that neck of the woods. And East Carolina will hit the road as well, FAU, and then host a really good Charlotte and Wichita State team. So both want to manage that bullpen. And for NC State, it's road heavy coming up. This is a 2-week road stand at Louisville, at Clemson, and then host the Campbell Fighting Camels, the pride of the orange. Tonight, it's the pride of red and purple battling it out. And then you pencil in North Carolina on the back end of that. Difficult month coming up here for NC State.
Yeah, they have a pretty difficult month and a half. You started with the Coastal, and then you went Duke. Then you had Notre Dame coming to town. Got ECU tonight. You have them again in 3 weeks.
From a strength of schedule standpoint, there are 5 ACC teams in the top 20, including Wake Forest at number 5. It shows not only the strength of the RPI, but the inter-conference schedules. NC State's RPI right now 29, or sorry, strength of schedule. So they play a lot of good teams. I know it's fallen off the map just a touch, but at one point there were 9 ranked teams between the 2 Carolinas. So the 2-0 pitch to Johnson dots it up.
There's so much good baseball in this area.
And East Carolina will do the same thing. A huge series win over North Carolina at the start of February. That was early in the year. They'll play Campbell twice. They'll play Duke twice. Good scheduling from Cliff Godwin and Elliott Avon as Labriola finds the zone. Maybe none better against the best in the country than NC State. 9-1 against the top 25. Good matchup here, strength on strength for the 2-2. Runner takes off, and Cozart's throw is just late. That's great base running from East Carolina.
Yeah, really nice job getting yourself once again into scoring position, but now a pass ball comes into play. He must have seen something off of Labriola that he was able to take off.
And even with a perfect throw, no chance to catch Dixon Williams there. So here's the 3-2. An excuse me check swing. The Pirates have made for tough outs tonight at the plate. Only 1 walk, 1 strikeout. They're putting the ball in play and 8 hits to show for it.
No, they really haven't. We talked about how good this offense has been for ECU. They put the ball in play. They make some things happen.
Another 3-2. And a slow roller, not easy here for Nixon, who bobbles it. East Carolina cashes in a 5 spot for the Pirates on the NC State error.
Not sure what happened there. I don't know if is
it a combination of tripping and losing the ball?
I think he kind of tripped over his own 2 feet. No, just a missed ball
right off the end of the glove.
And once again, this all happens with 2 outs. You put the ball in play, you have that double.
You steal the base to make it really tough.
Yep. Yeah, this is just prototypical ECU baseball.
And then Carter Cunningham deep into the night. It's a 7 spot for the Pirates.
And then you hit a 2-run home run. This is what ECU is looking for, and this is obviously brings the fans to the feet, but I think it was just another off-speed pitch, middle.
Carter Cunningham with his 7th. And this Pirate team has come to life in the 6th inning.
Yep, wants it out, down and in. You just can't get away with that in this league.
You can tell how much this matters to both programs. Top 25 matchup, and an error 3-run inning has helped fuel a 7-0 start. You hear the chants of the East Carolina faithful decked out in Mardi Gras beads today. Hadn't seen that before from an ECU fan base. I kind of like it. Obviously Tulane, so well known to the American for the Mardi Gras beads. And here's Jacob Jenkins Cowart. 1 for 2 tonight. And he looks like Shane Falco from the Replacements with the clean and shaved beard.
That's a great call.
Cowart, who's been fantastic in his career, is draft eligible this year, and there's a lot of conversation in Greenville about if he'll go to the next level, if he'll stick around for that 4th year. Has all the potential. And rockets a base hit. So Jenkins Cowart with his 2nd hit, now hitting .360 on the year. Typically, baseball players try to keep their emotions in check. We are seeing, and for good reason if you're East Carolina, a ton of emotion from that Pirate dugout.
Yeah, I think in a rival game, you know, both these teams, we can go ahead and say they probably don't like each other very much, right? And I think ECU always feels like the little, you know, brother to the Carolinas and the NC States and the Dukes, but this baseball team can play. Obviously up 7-0 early here against the Wolfpack, but it's hard to keep that emotion in check in a game like this.
So Labriola misses downstairs. That error from Nixon, if you're NC State, unfortunately compounds not only into the solo run, but then the home run to follow. Could be 4-0 instead, and East Carolina's taking advantage. On the reverse side, if you're Elliott Avent, you have seen this flair for the dramatic a ton in the last week. Walk-off come from behind wins over Duke and Notre Dame twice in the last 8 days. You don't want to pull that ace out of your hand too many times.
Once again, you know, the 7 wins in 1-run games. It's
you only get pocket rockets so many times.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to keep going back to that same page.
Runner moving on the pitch. Cozart's got an excellent arm and a nice tag by Nixon. That ends the inning. East Carolina not electing to challenge, so we'll take the timeout. ECU up 7-0 through 5.5. If any player were to spark a rally here for NC State, maybe none better than Garrett Pennington. What a month of March in some huge moments.
Yeah, once again, it's another guy, transfer portal, nice pickup. March 8th, the walk-off. March 19th, the go-ahead RBI. The 23rd, home runs in the 8th and 9th. And then just a few days ago, the walk-off win against Notre Dame.
Pennington, 5 multi-hit games in the last 2 weeks. He rockets one to left center right on cue. Pennington kickstarts the rally. This Wichita State transfer cannot be stopped in the box.
I'm telling you, the amount of barrels that this guy gets is unbelievable. And they're all pretty good pitches, too. Obviously, that one catches more of the plate than anything, but he's on time. He's got that big leg kick. We talked about it. I want to see his average off the bat velo.
Got to be 100 plus. Pennington, who helped lead a sweep for Wichita State over East Carolina last year. That was one of the upsets in the regular season. And now a former Pirate at the plate, and Alec Makarevich, who from a statistical standpoint has been really good from the left side this year. 343 overall. ECU not as deep with left-handed arms. We did see Ritchie warming up earlier, but it's largely a right-handed heavy bullpen. Beal and Lunsford Shankman, 2 of the best for East Carolina. The 2-0 is left up, and Amac pops one up. That's a long run for Carter. Oh my goodness, Williams! He's got a chance for 2. Did we just see what I think we just saw?
What a play.
Greenville native Dixon Williams robbing a base hit.
You could see it. Carter's just too deep in left field there. A lot of guys tend to go for the bucket catch over the shoulder. He goes the opposite route. What a tough play.
Tip of the cap there for Dixon Williams. Even Cliff Godwin gives him some love. As looks like a call to the pens coming up. We'll take the timeout for a pitching change. Dixon Williams needs a breather, so we'll take the media timeout and come in for the new arm here for ECU. Fantastic night here at Doak Field at Dale Park in Raleigh. Top 25 programs, and right now number 12 East Carolina up in front 7-0, taking advantage of 3 unearned runs in the 6th. The ECU bullpen, one of the best in the country by overall ERA, and Eric Ritchie will look to continue that success. Ritchie, who pitched in the midweek against Wilmington last week, also had a couple outings against UAB out of the pen. This is an ECU staff that's not as left-handed heavy, but this is one of their best in Eric Ritchie.
Yeah, 25 Ks and only 9 walks on 18 and a third inning. Once again, it's a good tall lefty, comes straight over the top. He's got some good stuff here for the Pirates.
And his assignment is a left-handed heavy part of the order here. Cozart, Hogue, and Serrano all in a row. As Cliff Godwin uses the darkest Sharpie I've ever seen to cross out names in his lineup card. All coaches creatures of habit. It's fun to see the nuances of how they do it. Here's Cozart, whose OPS is now over 1,000 for the junior catcher, draft eligible in the eyes of Kylie McDaniel, a top 5 prospect. Not only the catching position, but maybe in the country by the time the year ends.
Oh, that's a good slider.
Eric Ritchie in his last 11 innings of work, only 2 earned runs. That's been the story for this ECU pen. Not a ton of arms, but effective when in the game. All of a sudden, a 3-0 count.
That's the one thing about this ECU pitching staff today. They haven't had many high-stress innings. You know, you got the last inning, Butterworth lines out with bases loaded, but other than that, low stress, just kind of going up there, making outs, and they've had a pretty easy one so far tonight.
To your point, this will be pitched 75 of the game for the starters and the pen combined. Low stress innings for Grawler and Beal. Now Ritchie in a little bit of trouble. Issues a walk. Jacob Cozart, he leads the country in terms of catchers walks this year, but 25 walks in 6 games is incredible.
Well, as a catcher, you should understand the strike zone better than anyone, right? And I think he does. I think he has a really good eye for what he wants, and he can see the ball in the outer half really well, and he's done a great job so far with that.
Nick Kurtz of Wake Forest leads the country. A walk and a half per game for Kurtz. And now Hogue goes after the first pitch. Long run here for Carter, who's shown his range tonight. And a souvenir for the friends in the hill. Oh,
little.
I think he stumbled.
Is he back?
Yeah, he's good. We got him back.
We're good.
Oh, with the cowboy hat, of course. Student section, especially here in Raleigh, given the success of the 2 basketball programs. Them and UConn, the 2 sports that have sent both their teams to a Final Four this year. Now Hogue pops it up again. Carter's going to have room this time. And Bristol's there for the second out. Only 2 hits tonight for the Wolfpack, and they're sitting the other hit in Pennington out there at second.
Yeah, just, it hasn't been very hard outs either. A lot of, ground balls, soft ground balls. They just haven't put the ball in play very hard tonight.
Eli Serrano, who's 1 for 2. Serrano from nearby Pro 5 Baseball Academy. They're pumping out kids at the Division I level the last few years. Serrano now the sophomore. Good breaking ball. Serrano out of high school was the #2 ranked player in the state. Him and Michael Gupton came to NC State as the top 2 recruits. Gupton now in the junior college ranks.
We talked about just the athletic frame that he has. You referenced Bellinger a couple times as a comp.
If you're NC State, you're just waiting for that body to grow out a little bit.
Well, Christian Yelich.
MVP Christian Yelich. Then the steroid year the following year, but had the MVP season.
And he got caught, but hey.
Eric Ritchie struggling to find the zone in relief, and a walk has loaded the bases. And we'll see what this string of left-handed hitters rolling up for NC State. And now a pitch hitter, Drew Lamphere, will come up for the Wolfpack. It is so left-handed heavy in this state lineup tonight.
Yeah, that's one thing that they really haven't had over the last couple of years, and this year they feel like they, can't even pinch hit a righty.
In years past, it was the Patrick Bailey, Evan Edwards show from left, but otherwise largely right-handed for NC State. Here all of a sudden, second straight inning with the bases loaded. And now pitching coach Austin Knight comes out. Austin Knight was fantastic as a player himself at Ole Miss. Had ties to Cliff Godwin, whose previous stop was at Ole Miss. Brought him along, has elevated him with Jason Dietrich, the longtime pitching coach, now the head coach at Cal State Fullerton. And this is an arm that East Carolina's thrown a ton. Lunsford Shankman, 13 outings out of the ECU pen. That combo of Lunsford, Shankman, and Beal have pitched in almost every game this year. Call him the law firm of Beal, Lunsford, Shankman today.
Seriously, that's exactly what popped in my head when you said that.
Drew Lamphere up with the bases juiced. And the folks in Pitt County love this East Carolina bullpen. Right above a 2 ERA, none better in the country on the back end. But in some trouble here against Lamphere, the freshman from Wendell. Off the end of his bat, Ritchie collects it to end the inning. A lucky bounce for East Carolina ends the frame. NC State strands the bases loaded for back-to-back innings. Interstate matchup, and so far it's all East Carolina. 7-0 start. The big 3-run error benefited 6th inning. The real difference to put some separation. And right now, if you're NC State, stranding the bases loaded, back-to-back frames, leading to the bullpen now as Derek Smith comes in.
Yeah, big-time arm for this bullpen. Just throwing strikes has been part of the issue for him, but hoping to get him back on track. Like I said before, it's just a lot of this NC State bullpen has struggled to come in and be consistent, but like you said, East Carolina just dominating the game so far tonight, 7-0.
This Derek Smith kid, if you want electric fastballs, he certainly got it from White Bear Lake, Minnesota. #1 pitching recruit out of the state 2 years ago. He throws it hard. Sometimes it's like Rick Vaughn. You don't know where it's going, but when he locates it, he's pretty effective.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, anytime you get 95, 97 in there and you can toss in a couple strikes, he's got a good off-speed pitch. This is a guy that if they want this back end of the bullpen to be really good this year, they have to get him going.
This becomes a huge shutdown inning after NC State strands the bases loaded. We begin the top of the 7th. Smith, who allowed a home run against Notre Dame over the weekend on Saturday. Pardon me. The Sprite hiccups always catch you at the wrong time. Had to get some juice for this big matchup tonight. Top 25 game with Andrew Simpson. I'm EvanBudrovich. 114th all-time inning, but the ECU Pirates have not won in this park since 2009, back when you, Andrew, were in the heart of the lineup.
Just a young freshman.
You had 2 RBI that night. That's the part you tell your kids down the road. And Jacob Starling gets hit, so he's on to begin the 7th. And that's the Jekyll and Hyde of Derek Smith. That State loves his ability on the mound, but sometimes he can be a bit erratic.
Yeah, and like I say, if you get him going, it's a great arm. It's an electric arm. But sometimes you just got to tone it in, and obviously there's been some appearances that he has not liked, and appearances that I mean they loved him in the fall this year. They thought he was going to be
goes an inning scoreless
really
against Duke,
yeah,
and dominates, but then struggles against Georgia Tech the previous outing. Cozart with an excellent arm, and that's just late. Good speed from Starling with the stolen base. 33rd of the year for the Pirates. Would not be surprised given the pedigree of Cliff Godwin, a bunt or a situational play here coming up. That pop time had to be sub-2.
Yeah, it definitely was. And good on East Carolina for getting themselves back into scoring position here. And we talked about earlier in this game, this is kind of their MO. They like to get guys on. They like to move guys, whether it be hit and run, bunts, stolen bases. We've seen 2 of the 3 of that I just mentioned so far.
Well, the old expression, a boop, a bloop, a bomb, and a blast.
Right.
And that's what ECU's done tonight. They have the home run in the 6th. They've played situational baseball with 2 clutch hits and runners on. Have had a squeeze bunt to score a run tonight. And here's Ryan McChrystal.
That's what you want. 95 on the black at the knees. How simple is that?
So tough to hit. He's got a high spin rate as well.
It's not easy to hit.
It stays up in the zone for a long time, which is always challenging for a hitter. As McChrystal rolls it foul. And that's your job here, is McChrystal get anything to the right side.
That's all you're trying to do. It's a team at bat right now, especially with 2 strikes. You're trying to roll something over on purpose here. Get that guy over third base. We saw it happen before with the stolen base.
So another 2-2. Lead to a full count. East Carolina begins a 4-game road stretch. We'll take a flight on Thursday for Boca Raton, Florida, FAU.
I'd take that trip.
So now a 3-2 pitch. There's the ground out.
Nice play.
Heck of an effort from Pennington to knock it down and save a run. There's the first out.
Once again, that's another guy that we talk a lot about his offense, but defensively, he's made some great plays here in the last couple days for NC State.
Oh, and a wicked hop, too.
Yeah, that's just, there's not much you can do there as a first baseman. You got to just keep that ball in front, and he does it.
Good team at bat, good defense as well, and the whole infield comes in now for the speedster Bristol Carter here in a 7-0 game. What's Carter's job in this situation? I assume it's to hit a pop fly, right?
Yeah, you want to get something up in the zone. And it's tough with infield in. This isn't practiced a lot, and when I played, it's hard to visualize because now obviously everything's on top of you, but you're just trying to get something up in the zone that you're able to drive.
Did Carter go on the pitch? And the home plate umpire says yes. Greg Street. An ECU team searching for its 3rd ranked win of the year, has a series victory over North Carolina. And a good battle continues.
Same thing here. I'd be trying to be late on anything that comes at me. You want to get that ball to the right side of the field.
Carter checks it foul. And you see that with Kozart. He wanted it low and away, but it comes in so hard at 95. Sometimes it just finds the bat.
You're exactly right. And it's, you know, if you can eliminate the off-speed pitch that he throws, he hasn't thrown for a strike yet. So, hey, I'm going to sit fastball and adjust off-speed.
There's the fastball. Budrovich in fair territory. Goes the long way and the run scores. So it's 8-0 East Carolina.
It's a really good at-bat by Carter. Fouls off a couple pitches. Just not sure. Starling goes right away, so obviously he gets a good jump. Would have been a tough play for Budrovich anyway. Nonetheless, 8-0 here
ECU
for the Pirates.
2 in the second, 2 in the third, 3 more in the sixth, and a run in the seventh. And now a pitching change. Derek Smith's day is over. So Wynn Scott will enter for NC State. We'll take the breather and come back here in just a minute here in Raleigh. Welcome back to Raleigh here at Thursdays and Fridays featured ACC matchups. Number 10 North Carolina battles number 15 Virginia. That was a good set last week with Duke as well. And then number 21 Wake will battle number 11 Vautech. A lot of ranked matchups to get things rolling on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Not only from those ranked matchups, but this one tonight. Number 12 ECU leading number 19 NC State, and Wynn Scott will look to help preserve a win for NC State. That pun's been used a few times. The Jamestown native comes in only his third inning of the year, and we've sort of seen with NC State mixing and matching bullpen arms tonight.
Yeah, they're trying to get some arms in there that, you know, don't normally see. Once again, 2 2/3 this season, but this is a guy, once again, you're trying to find, when you're struggling as a whole pitching unit, you're trying to find guys that just give you quality outs, that come in and will do anything to get outs and get your offense into this dugout. So they're still searching for that piece.
Justin Wilcoxon goes the other way. First pitch, driven to left, and it's gone. Wilcoxon with the home run, his 5th of the year, and the Pirate party continues.
I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but once again, I think it's an off-speed pitch over the middle of the dish. These have been hit hard all night long by this ECU offense, and there you go. Slider. Kozart wanted down away. He does not get it there.
Second home run for East Carolina tonight. So 3 in the 6th, 2 more in the 7th. And Wynn Scott back to work. East Carolina on the verge of its 5th straight win, and the offense has been a part of that. 6 or more runs and all the victories. It's the time Barini misses. So the 1-2. One thing with this East Carolina lineup, they've been so patient. Very few strikeouts, have worked the count well.
Yeah, they really have. And once again, this is with 2 outs. They extend innings. You know, we talked about their approach coming into this game. It's simple. They hit balls hard.
This pop-up should end the inning for Butterworth, and that'll wrap things up. East Carolina, though, 5 hits with runners on the bases tonight. And this time it's a home run from Justin Wilcoxon to extend the lead. 2-run shot for the Pirates, and they are rolling 9-0 as we stretch here in Raleigh. Big story of this game, number 12, East Carolina hitting well with runners on base. NC State not able to get the job done. Bases loaded the last 2 innings for the Wolfpack, and now East Carolina starting to flex its muscle. A 9-0 lead as we stretch. 1-game microcosm of the season, but certainly tonight ECU has done enough to take advantage.
Yeah, they really have, and it's mostly been offense, but their pitching has been outstanding too, holding this NC State offense to only 2 hits. Everything else we talked about, had bases loaded the last 2 innings. Just everything has not been a very stressful inning for ECU. Even with the bases loaded, no balls hit hard besides the one that Pennington had out to left center.
The Pirate pitching staff that came in 4th in the country in ERA has held NC State to 2 hits tonight. And those were late in the 5th and the 6th innings, as Nixon avoids that pitch. It's been a combination of Grawler's 3, Beal 2 1/3 for one of the most highly used arms in the country, and then Eric Ritchie ended last inning and now goes back to work. And NC State, who have been so good against quote-unquote quad 1 or top 50 opponents, 9-1 coming in as Nixon gets hit. This is a rare blemish in an otherwise really good non-conference slate.
Yeah, a couple of mistakes tonight. One by this guy right here.
Not only have they won a lot of games against top opponents, the RPI, which is so huge come May, maintaining that top 30 RPI, back-to-back sweeps of Notre Dame. And they'll gear up for a tough stretch at Louisville and at Clemson.
That is a tough stretch. At Louisville, at Clemson, got home for Carolina.
Throwing the Mighty Birds of Ball State, a reigning MAC finalist. the 1A MAC, not the 2A. And then Florida State coming up, who's maybe as hot as anybody in the country.
They sure are. I didn't think it would take long for that Florida State team to get things rolling down there in Tallahassee.
There's another hit by pitch, and Link Jarrett certainly figured things out quickly down there. 2 on with nobody out. AC Cliff looking over to his pitching coach, Austin Knight. Sometimes no words need to be said. So Wyatt Lunsford-Shankman warming up. If you're East County, you probably don't want to use Lunsford-Shankman in this spot, but you never know in these type of games with this offense of NC State. What would otherwise be a bullpen day for East Carolina. And here comes Cliff Godwin ready to make the change. So there's the call to the pen. Eric Ritchie with a couple of hit by pitches. He'll end his night. And in comes the stud reliever, Wyatt Lunsford-Shankman. We'll talk more about him next. Wyatt Lunsford-Shankman, part of a great duo of bullpen arms for East Carolina, comes in, and it gives you a sense how much this game matters for ECU. 29th inning of work, all out of the pen for the junior from Leesburg, Virginia. Even though the score is 9-0, East Carolina not letting this inning lightly.
Yeah, it's also, I'd rather throw in this type of scenario than just a random bullpen on, probably tomorrow at your home ballpark. So get you a quality inning in here, and obviously a 9-0 ball game, but you got first and second, no outs.
Lunsford-Shankman, who was a great mid reliever last year, set the stage for Carter Spivey, an All-American, both starter and reliever in his time. He'll now face the top of this NC State lineup, who was about as dangerous. Oh my God, look at that mustache.
Quality.
First row. I know March is over, but always a good time to appreciate a good stash. That's Ron from Parks and Rec, if you remember that show earlier. A man who loves his steak. Steaks and his stashes. Brandon Butterworth's turn. An 0 for 2 night for Brandon, but he was hit by a pitch. Remember, just 2 hits for the Wolfpack coming in, who were ranked in the top 40 in the country in batting average entering this game. Have had chances the last 2 innings, bases loaded in both the 6th and the 7th.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to push across that big-time hit. Butterworth lining out to shortstop 2 innings ago with the bases loaded. We've seen this offense battle back from multiple run deficits already this season.
The 3-1 is called a strike, and a late call at that. Good pitch from Lunsford Shankman. So the battle continues here on 3-2. Forces weak contact. Only play for Williams is in time. Very close, but a nice defensive effort.
Yeah, really nice play, especially with Williams playing deep there at third base. Good throw on the run. Barely gets Butterworth.
So the Greenville natives having a great night. Couple of hits, saves a base hit there, and Pennington swings through a slider. Pennington with his 12th double of the year. This man does not get cheated in the box. When Garrett faced ECU last year at Wichita State, he was 4 for 12, but had 3 doubles in that series. So even in his big moments, he made it count.
I'm telling you, he just finds barrels, hits the ball hard every time he's up at bat. Had a hard one in the first, the double his last at bat.
Late on the slider.
That's a really good slider. 84, good movement, starting middle. Probably going a ball and a half, 2 balls outside of the black.
Lunsford Shankman leaves it in.
You saw Greg Street back there. Made a little start to make a call.
Greg off guard a little bit with that where it ended.
Yeah, that's just that back door that doesn't slide.
So instead, the at-bat continues with Pennington. And he pops one up. Long way to go here. Oh, off the glove of Carter. So everyone's safe. Pennington will jog into second on the East Carolina mistake.
Yeah, we talked about how good they've been defensively all season long. But it's just Carter playing so deep out there in left field. He's had to make some long runs tonight. Just takes his eye off it right away. Probably trying to make that, or thinking about making that throw to home. Nonetheless, NC State finally gets a run on the board here in the 7th.
Alec Makarevich swings through a filthy changeup there for Lunsford Shankman. Think of all the fall ball matchups between these two senior veterans. AMAC, the East Carolina transfer, versus all-conference reliever Wyatt Lunsford Shankman. That time a hard ground out, and there's the second out of the inning. It does bring home another run, though, for NC State. And really, if you're East Carolina, you're going to trade outs for runs at this point.
No doubt. Yeah, that's exactly what you want. Gladly give up the out there. Make it 9-2.
Jacob Cozart's turn. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Wolfpack still held to 2 hits, which would be their season low.
You can dial in a fastball right here. 2-0. Got to be able to put a good swing on it.
So Lunsford Shankman's pitch stays down. The Wolfpack this year, when trailing after 6, do have 3 come from behind wins, and 2 of those have come in the last week. But this would be a heavy task against number 12 East Carolina.
I still think you got to square something up here. You got to look in one location, one pitch. If it's fastball, middle in, you're looking for, that's the only thing that you're going to take a swing at. You don't mind going to 3-2.
3-1. Big swing.
Got it, too.
Had a home run swing looking all over it.
Those are the tough ones where you get what you're looking for and you try to gear up a little bit and swing right through it.
The 3-2. Fastball again. Wyatt Lunsford-Shankman climbs the ladder to end the inning. One of the best relievers in the American Athletic, Wyatt Lunsford-Shankman, shuts the door. Coming up in the 6th, I want vanilla. Fantastic start for the Carolinas here in college baseball. A third of the teams, the national rankings, right here in the home states, including ECU and NC State. Really shows what the ride of Clemson has done under Coach Eric Bakich, up to number 2 in the country. And everyone's prohibitive number 1, Wake Forest, now at 21 overall, but clearly a ton of talent in these 2 states.
Yeah, this what really makes the weekend matchup, or I'm sorry, the weekday matchups really fun. You get series like this. NC State's played Coastal.
There's an opposite field line that's caught. And even these 2 programs, despite the one-sided score, it goes to show how well these teams can be in regional conversation, hosting, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I hope we are in that conversation at the end of the year, because let me tell you, both these schools are a great regional host.
And these 2 schools in the last 20 drafts, this is in-state. NC State has the most players, but East Carolina, 70 draft picks, including All-American Zach Agnos from 2 years ago. Will Wilson, a first-round pick for the Wolfpack here recently. You could argue with Jacob Jenkins-Cowart and Jacob Cozart, you got 2 more potential draft picks coming up this spring.
Yeah, I really like that they moved the draft 1 back and 2 they shortened it. I think that just makes a lot better for the college game as well. You get a bunch of guys who you normally wouldn't see at the college level. You get them in there and you get that player development going. And that just speaks volumes to the player development that's at both of these schools.
6 draft picks last year for the Wolfpack, 7 in the last 3 years for East Carolina, and there's a big swing for Riley Johnson. Johnson returning from the shoulder injury. He's looked good at the plate despite the 0 for 4 night. And what a pick by Cozart. 7-run game, 8th inning.
Looking like an infielder back there.
Kid doesn't take a play off. Here's Wynn Scott on 2-2. Whoa, over our camera op. Tripp there. Got to keep Tripp safe.
Nice job ducking out of the way over there.
And that manager is earning himself.
He is on it down there. Oh, and he gives it to the fans?
There's Tripp. He's safe and sound. So Wynn Scott back to work. He'll use every second of that pitch clock. It's like Max Scherzer, who would sit there in spring training and manipulate the clock and just freeze hitters.
It's a game that pitchers can play. I'll tell you, if I sat there ready, for a while, it's
one Mississippi,
you want to call time, but
Mississippi. Here's Wynn Scott. Hasn't helped his control there. A walk with one out here in the 8th. What does this win do for East Carolina? They've had a nice series win over UNC, but in the second half of the year to kickstart things here in April.
Yeah, I think it just, like you said, you're in your second, third week of conference play. Playing these types of games on a midweek game, I think you get that confidence going, especially from an offense standpoint. 11 hits, 9 runs. Pitching's been great too tonight. You played a pretty fundamentally sound baseball game besides the error there in the 7th, but I think it just kickstarts that middle half where you start to feel that little lull of being in the season. It can kind of jolt you right back into place.
More attention to the ECU running game. And the last time Carter Cunningham came up, he basically hit the scoreboard, 393, and that basically put this game out of reach. At that time, took advantage of the error, made it 7-0 East Carolina. And now Wynn Scott's just torturing some folks wanting to get this game moving.
It has to be buying time for a bullpen, correct? Has to be. I'm no pitcher, but I feel like there's going to be a pitching change coming soon.
That's Hollis Fanning warming up, and then a base hit for Cunningham. So the runner holds, and first and second here for the Pirates. A 3-hit day for Cunningham. You're right. How much of this is a stall tactic? How much of this is working the game? And the equally dangerous Jacob Jenkins Cowart now comes up. Tennessee transfer Hollis Fanning getting loose in a bullpen that's been used a ton tonight. Cozart the back pick, and it gets away. Pennington couldn't squeeze it. Another run comes in, and this is where East Carolina shines on the bases.
Yeah, we talked about it before in the pregame. You put runners on, you put the pressure on this defense. It's a defense that has struggled this year. Normally you don't see it from that guy right there, Cozart, but you catch him off the base paths.
He was throwing to a spot, and I'm not sure Pennington was ready for it.
Correct.
Now makes it 10-2.
This is one you're going to want to put in the back of your mind if you're NC State. Just an ugly game all around.
The good news, both these teams will clean face and head to the road. One to Louisville, one to Boca Raton. By the way, down at FAU with Dusty May taking that Michigan job. A lot of changes in the college basketball landscape. Jenkins Cowart sitting pretty in the 3-0 count. Oh. He actually did that same exact thing in a win on Saturday for ECU. Contorting his body out of the way.
I would too.
Got to protect the face.
10-2. I'm not trying to get hit in a ball game like this.
Ooh. He's like the sling from Toy Story. Can turn his body everywhere, and now a pitching change here. It's been a tough night for NC State pitching. And Clint Chrysler will go to his pen. We'll take the cue from the pitching coach and take the timeout here in the 8th with ECU up 8. Welcome back to Raleigh. The ACC spring football schedule begins this week, and our huddle preview to look at all the teams coming up. This is tonight at 10 Eastern, ACC Network and the ESPN app. NC State spring game coming up this Saturday. And in East Carolina, they have a pig cookout as part of the spring game. That's the following week, the 13th. So enjoy all that on the ACC Network.
I mean, if you're NC State, you have to watch the Final Four game after that in Carter Finley, don't you?
You have to put it on the big screen. That's a great point. Brand new video board, a year old. Yeah, let it put it to work. I don't want to speak for the marketing staff, but
I think I just spoke something into existence right there. They should do it.
With the women playing Friday night, the men, of course, the early game, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time. And our friends out in Phoenix attending that one. So Hollis Fanning, the Tennessee transfer from one Elite Eight program to a Final Four program. Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't think I was going to say that this year.
Yeah.
So Fanning comes in out of the pen. He had a sub-2 ERA for Tony Vitello last year at Tennessee.
Yeah, once again, another guy out of the bullpen that they're just trying to find some consistency, something that will work for this bullpen and the rest of this pitching staff. They don't have the answer tonight.
A student section that was once bouncing and
now
thriving
sleeping.
is now surviving. Much to the credit of East Carolina, of course. 10 runs, 12 hits, and Jacob Starling, who already has a base hit, will step back in. I also love, and maybe I'm overreading this, are they all sharing the same blue bat? Do they have multiple blue bats that look like that?
There has to be multiple.
Such a unique look. It's like a frozen icicle.
Rawlings, I believe.
Yeah, Rawlings. The way they've been swinging the bats, I wouldn't be surprised if they said,
just
hey,
kept
here you
one.
go.
Yeah, one hot bat throughout the lineup.
I know there's different height differences, but it all works.
Whatever they're doing, it's definitely working tonight. They've put on the show offensively.
It's called a Rawlings Clout bat, is what we're being told. Production crew all over it. And my favorite Adidas versus Adidas matchup. And there's the Clout. How much clout do you have with a Clout bat, though, is my question. Chance to load the bases here for Jacob Starling, the senior emotional leader here for East Carolina. It's interesting with Starling. He's had a quote-unquote down year, yet hitting 250, gets on to the 380 clip. Yes, not up to his all-conference standards, but it's been a luxury for what ECU's had offensively this year. Here's Hollis Fanning on a 3-1. Holding that precious runner on at first base, and Jacob Jenkins-Coward. Starling the other way with a base hit. It's a double-figure run-scoring night for the Pirates. And here comes JJC in to score. 2 in on the double from Starling.
The impressive night offensively continues for ECU. It's a great piece of hitting by Starling. Fastball up and out. I'll go the other way with it. Get myself 2 RBIs.
And as it rolled all the way to the wall, Jenkins-Coward, he was moving on the pitch. So the last 3 innings, 8 runs for this Pirate offense. Here's the DH, Ryan McChrystal. With more arms warming in the NC State pen. Now you kind of look at this as a trial by fire experiment with bullpen options if you're Clint Chrysler.
Yeah, I think that's honestly what they've been trying to do tonight, and we have figured it out. They haven't had an answer. It's never good when the opposing school is chanting their own colors in your own ballpark as well. So, just and
to your point, this has been a long time coming for East Carolina. Have not won in this building since 2009.
No, I mean they've been absolutely perfect tonight from the offensive standpoint. Just the one error that cost them the 1 run there in the 7th, but this is why they're one of the top 15 teams in the country.
Had a series win over UNC earlier in the year, and have left no qualms. A great start, 4-0 early, have taken advantage here late. Oh, and that hits McChrystal. He did not swing, so hit by pitch. Oh, is it the kneecap? Ooh. Yeah, good news. McChrystal will get subbed out after a productive night in the DH spot. So that is Luke Nowak, the junior out of Wisconsin, coming in to run. Let's see what Bristol Carter has in store. Carter extended his 4-game hit streak to 5 earlier tonight. And his brother Cameron, who just wrapped up his Wingate football career, or Wingate, as you say down in that part of the state.
Are you a Wingate guy or a Wingate guy?
I'm not highfalutin enough to say Wingate. I say Wingate. I'm a man of the people. Hollis Fanning keeping tabs on the running game.
This is a guy that has an electric arm too, and once again, just like Derek Smith, just unable to find the strike zone consistently. That's an easy 92, 95. Can bump it up in that 96 range.
Challenges with the fastball, and there's a strikeout. And you're right, it's just putting those pieces together. There's a ton of talent here for Fanning.
Yeah, it really is. Had a great, productive innings at Tennessee last year. You said sub-2 ERA. Just how do you get consistent?
And now Clint Chrysler comes out. Looks like NC State's going to empty the bag here. A lot of arms coming in. Getting some big innings before a series at Louisville. And there's the pitching change. So Wolfpack will bring in Cooper Consiglio, the true freshman at IMG Academy. We'll step aside for a minute and come back with the pitching change here for NC State. Welcome back to Raleigh. The crowd is thin just a bit as East Carolina, number 12 team in the country, flexing its muscle tonight. So Cooper Consiglio, the IMG Academy product, will come in. He's high school teammates with Jake Bechtel back in their days at Palm Harbor, Florida. And Consiglio in rare innings this year. We've seen Clint Chrysler kind of empty his pen tonight. He allowed 7 runs in a blowout loss to UNC Greensboro. He'll get another outing here. First appearance since March 12th. Which these are important innings for young arms getting opportunities.
Yeah, they sure are. And once again, they're trying to find an answer. They're trying to find someone that will come in and just throw strikes for him. So if you get those quality innings and you kind of compound those back to back, maybe you get a spot, weekend start or midweek start, sorry, and you just try to figure it out from here on out.
So Justin Wilcoxon's turn.
Talk about easy 93.
There's a lot of velo in this State bullpen. Control has been a bit of a factor tonight. Some errors defensively not helping. 3 errors for the Pack. Has the patented chance of purple and gold run wild. A lot of work to do for East Carolina, but you do wonder, will this team have enough resume-wise to be a top 16 when the year ends? Not the strongest conference schedule in the American, but had a really good non-conference slate. And a ground ball that could end the inning. It does. We'll discuss plenty of that and more when we come back for the bottom of the 8th with the Mardi Gras beads rocking for the Pirates. For those of you fans of promos, I got great news for you. The ACC spring football season begins Saturday with Clemson's game at Memorial Stadium on ACC Network. That's at 1. And then at 2 o'clock, flip across here to Raleigh as NC State kicks off their spring game at Carter Finley Stadium. You can watch all those games on the ESPN app, including these games tonight. Spring football, hard to believe.
It's here.
With Cal and Stanford and SMU joining the football conference this fall, and all the sports, of course. Makes for complicated travel schedules, but unique opportunities.
Nothing like the old
Sea to Shining Sea conference.
Yeah, I don't like that at all, but here we are.
It will add some regionality to the league. A new region. From the left coast. As a Southern California native, I appreciate folks in the ACC joining us out there. Oh, there's an error to start the inning. Cunningham couldn't squeeze it, and Josh Hogue is on. Let's see. Are they going to rule that a hit? Or they may actually rule that a hit.
I thought that was going to be a hit.
Yeah, that is a hit. Okay.
It looked like it just
kind of
some wild spin on him.
Caught Cunningham at the last second. So here's Eli Serrano. Now, is it a crime to have a Louisville bat at Louisville as the opponent?
No.
I know it's not the Wood bats.
But you have to go to the bat factory out there, right?
Oh, the Hall of Fame, absolutely.
Have you ever been?
I've never been to Louisville.
Me neither.
Kentucky's on my bucket list. It's not high on my bucket list, but it's on my bucket list.
You're more the Bourbon Trail guy and just happen to see Louisville. I get it. I'd be the same.
Iceland's actually next on my list. Revijak?
Is that going to be your honeymoon?
Oh, no, we're going to the Dominican Republic. We're going Summer Island.
That's smart. Smart.
And Serrano takes a strike. In terms of my ACC bucket list, where have I not been yet? I've had the milkshakes at Miami. Those are always really good.
Those are good, yep. Boston College, always a fun trip.
The Sunken Diamond at Stanford is next level. That's worth a trip.
I've been there.
You have?
I have. I was in, I believe I was in high school.
Back at one of those prep tournaments. Always cool stuff. Cal's got a stadium that's actually connected to its basketball arena.
How's that work?
Basically, you come out from the basketball arena and walk around the field to the dugouts.
Interesting.
And SMU doesn't have baseball, so not much to worry about there. You can go to the George Bush Presidential Library, though, at SMU's campus.
Just what these guys want to do.
And there's a lot of history of 9/11 there. And for those players who may or may not have been alive in 2001, Serrano, definitely not one of those. He earns a walk. Cliff Godwin checking his notes. This is Wyatt Lunsford-Shankman's inning. I am surprised he's still in the game here in the eighth.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. But once again, we talked about getting him some pitches. He's going to throw a bullpen no matter what this week. So it might as well be game simulated.
30th inning for Wyatt Lunsford-Shankman. How about a strikeout to walk ratio of 50-9, 5-1?
He's got that slider going too, and that's his pitch. I think he works off that. He brings that fastball, dip into the low 90s with it.
And this is a dude. Jamie Arnold of Florida State leads the country, 0.6. Lunsford-Shankman at 0.9 ERA. Because of good defense like that, there's one and a double play. That's been the strength of the Pirates all year.
I think they're going to call interference there at second base on Eli Serrano.
So then the runner has to go back to second. Maybe after the fact? Because he allows Starling to throw it.
Yeah, he's saying that he bumped into him I'm not sure.
I understand
That's a tough one.
The interpretation of the rule. You don't want to interfere with the throw, but at that point, the throw had already finished. It's one of those gray lines. We like to work in black and white here on ACC Network Extra. We don't like to walk the gray. So Chase Nixon's turn. So watch this again on the back end.
So I think he was, and honestly, I don't know on purpose or not, but trying to keep balance as you're popping up and sliding.
This ground ball should end the inning. A good night for the Pirate defense continues. We'll go to the last inning. ECU up 10 here in this in-state matchup. Cliff Godwin, a happy camper, on his way to his 372nd win in the East Carolina Purple and Gold. His program, 12 runs, 13 hits tonight in dominant fashion, leading NC State by 10 in this top 25 matchup. And now Cooper Consiglio getting some important innings for a young arm out of the state pen. This one popped foul. ECU warming up at arms. That should be the end of the night for Wyatt Lunsford Shankman. That combo of Beal, Ritchie, and Grawler have been really good. Even Cozart in the closing innings of a 10-run game. This kid's not going to quit behind the plate. Because these are the moments the scouts look at, right?
Exactly.
Like, how's your demeanor? How do you approach a game that isn't very close? And he's still trying to earn strikes, as he does right there.
Yeah, that's the one thing in baseball that, you know, these scouts do look at. How do you handle yourself before a game? I'm seeing a blowout like this.
And there's strike three, earning a strike there for Cozart.
Consiglio looking good so far for NC State. That nice little slider right there. More of almost like a curveball instead of a slider, but kind of hitting that mid-90 fastball.
I'll call it a slurve.
Yeah.
It's got elements of both.
The depth of a 12-6. Oh.
Dixon Williams, who's repping the 2-5-2 really well tonight. If you're East Carolina, 2 hits, made a couple nice defensive plays, made the incredible over the, I guess, not technically over the shoulder. The behind the shoulder.
You can call it that. Yeah, you can call it over the shoulder. He went the unconventional route of catching it normal, though.
Yeah, he didn't turn his
wrist. I'm not sure how he did that.
So instead, a 3-0 count. And a 4-pitch walk. Williams on for the 3rd time tonight. And it looks like Coach Godwin's going to his bench. Okay, maybe he's prepping his bench. Good head coaches don't miss the details, even in a 10-run game. All over it. And this ball sneaks away from Kozart. Really no chance there for Jacob.
It just looks like Consiglio kind of pulling that fastball across his body. Honestly, Kozart lucky to get a glove on it.
In a game that started with high intensity, sold out crowd, top 25 matchup, it has turned a little bit here into an exhibition where both teams get a ton of arms in.
I was going to say, ECU came in, took that momentum right out of this stadium, and they haven't looked back. They've quieted the crowd early, got out to a quick 4-0 lead, then 7.
Leading to a 12-2 lead here and a chance for a third-ranked win of the year for ECU. As Consiglio will step off. Not able to locate that time, so a 4-pitch walk, back-to-back walks here. That's a takeaway for NC State. 5 walks tonight, couple of hit batters. And all of a sudden the bullpen starts to warm up. Eight different arms so far, including 4 1/3 solid innings from Ryan Marone.
Yeah, I thought he threw well. Obviously a couple of mistakes early on. 6 hits, 3 earned runs.
There's Marone in the back row. The freshman had his second top 25 midweek start against Coastal and here tonight against ECU. So it's Riley Johnson's turn. The switch hitter will go from the right for the first time tonight. And my apologies, a pitch hitter here for the Pirates. Yeah, this is Colby Wallace, the talented true freshman from nearby Pinecrest High School. Right near the home of the U.S. Open coming up this fall. You heading over there this summer for the U.S. Open?
You know, we talked about going. It gets hot down there, though.
The Pinehurst in the summer is toasty.
It's going to be a toasty weekend.
Get there for the early tee times. Wallace, a top 100 freshman in the state of North Carolina. And goes down swinging there. Strikeout for Consiglio. We'll show you just one look at this.
Yep, another good breaking ball to the back foot. It's exactly where you want it.
I mean, where that pitch starts and where it ends, I don't know how you touch it.
No, you don't.
Especially as a righty when it comes in at your feet and it starts right over the plate.
And yeah, I was going to say you can't lay off of it either. It's coming right across. You're going to see it well. But the depth on it, that's what gets you.
So Jacob Jenkins Coward, we noted with the ALS fundraiser, over $20,000 brought in by the Pirate program. He is unrecognizable one day to the next, from the end of March here to the start of April.
You know, that 326 batting average with runners in scoring position. As we mentioned before, he had the 3 home runs against NC State at ECU last year.
And is finally fully healthy. Had battle injuries all of last year and grinded it out, but is having his best offseason, has come in. He has a Juan Soto-esque approach at the plate, so wide in the box. By the way, Soto's hitting like 500 for the Yankees.
Oh, I know.
In the first week.
I love seeing it.
I know you would know. Runners take off. Cozart. It's a strikeout regardless to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the ninth. Last swings for NC State here in a 10-run game.
Tolerance.
Former starter and now reliever junior Jake Hunter out of East Rowan comes in. So this past month he was raising money for ALS, and Hunter had a pretty mean stash. So the folks in Greenville had a great vote going on this week for Mustache of the Month, and Jake Hunter was your winner on the Twitter poll at ECU Pirates Baseball. So that looks pretty good with the chin and the stash working all together, and now he's clean shaven and raising money for ALS.
I mean, that thing is fantastic.
A little bit of ginger mixed in too.
Yeah.
And now the new month of post-shave beard comes in for Hunter, the exercise physiology major, a member of the SAC, the Student Athlete Advisory Committee at ECU. Through 2 scoreless against UAB, he was a starter to open the year and has been interchangeable between the starting role, the bullpen, and Cliff Godwin loves his versatility in these spots.
Yeah, just another quality arm coming out of the bullpen for ECU. Like you said, used to be a starter, but I've been impressed with everyone that they've rolled out here tonight.
Luke Nixon will lead off this 9th inning, 9-1-2 in the state order. There have been some crazy rallies here at NC State this year. An 8-run rally in the Duke contest. Overcame a 5-run deficit to win that game 9-8. This would be of a much different variety, but certainly possible. Worth noting defensively, Nathan Chrisman in at second base, and Cam Clonch, veteran senior leader, comes in at first base. He's a fan favorite on the local podcast network on 94.3 The Game. He'll come on every week and break down the team. Were you a TV media star? Did they ever interview on RAL or any of the local stations?
I've done a few interviews in my day. You know, when you got around ACC tournament time and whatnot. But it wasn't as big as it is now. I mean, now with obviously the NIL stuff and whatnot, but it's a whole lot bigger now.
And 2 programs that love college baseball, 3,000 plus in attendance tonight. And a lot of them have stuck here late in a 10-run game. So Hunter misses with a leadoff walk. Jake Hunter, who earned a nice win over UNC in a 10-9 barn burner. He threw 5 1/3 of 1-run ball, and then that game got wild from there on out. 7 combined home runs. And the Tar Heels basically haven't lost a game since. They dropped the Miami series, but they are
playing good baseball.
Barnstorming people.
just swept Wake Forest.
Hit 14 home runs in that series, and Vance Honeycutt was 1 for like 15 on the weekend, and he's the All-American.
He's a fun guy to watch play baseball.
So then Parks Harbor, the Georgia transfer, hit 4 homers in the series and carried the load. Here's Brandon Butterworth. This ball will stay in the yard. It's been a busy day for Bristol Carter. And that time he secures it. See, the 2 hands always come to help.
Always have to go.
Those have not been easy balls with the wind blowing in tonight. And Bristol's all over it. But why keep the oven mitt in your pocket in the bottom of the 9th? Are you assuming the 10th's coming up?
He has to forget that's back there. Has to.
And he's a heck of an athlete, too, for East Carolina. Talented true freshman. Here's Garrett Pennington, who doubled in the 6th, one of the 3 hits for the Pack tonight.
Ooh. On the outer half there.
I think Garrett had the same question. Wait, what now? What's the count? It is 0-1, Mr. Pennington. And then, well,
we'll call that one low.
It probably evens out to the correct count. Hunter then tries middle and gets a towering pop up to center. And there's the second out for Riley Johnson. So Cliff Godwin's program, 1 big out from a top 25 victory. By the way, that is a stick used for outfield positioning. It's not a rally stick. Talking to the ECU staff between innings. It's a carpet taped up together. Why, you asked? Even they weren't sure. Talking to the sports info director, Chip Welsh.
That is baseball 101 right there.
Maybe with all the purple and red in the stands, you need a little bit of orange to stand out.
Like the quarterback coaches that wear like bright blue.
But now with the headset technology, you won't need that anymore. You could just signal the plays right in, which ruins the fun of seeing a Kirby on a scorecard. That's Makarevich, although this to be fitting, the former ECU Pirate hitting against his former squad to end this game. Mac 0 for 4 tonight against his former team, having a great year. Tonight, though, it's all East Carolina, up 10 here in the 9th. Mac fights one off.
Yeah, it's coming straight fastballs out of him, too. See if he goes to that off speed. I think he wants to beat him with a fastball, if I had to guess.
Facing his former team on the verge of a top 25 win. Hunter to the fastball, that stays up. A mixture of purple and red
right there. Like a Mardi Gras Hawaiian pirate shirt.
There's a lot happening. As Makarevich pokes one to right, and that drops in. The game continues, and a hit for Alec Makarevich. And that was nice. A good bit of round of applause from both sides there on the base hit.
I was just say, I know it's a 12-2 ball game, but for Makarevich, that just has to be nice. You don't make the last out, especially after going 0 for 4 already.
And a big fan of Phil Collins there in the stands. The rally chains. Let's see what type of rally here for Jacob Cozart. So Jake Hunter back to work, and this pop-up will not wrap up the game. As we noted, NC State will head to Louisville this week begin a 7-game road trip before hosting the Campbell Camels. East Carolina will hit the road for FAU before returning for a 5-game homestand. Good pitch there. It's been all East Carolina from the start. Led 2-0 in the second. One of the best pitching staffs in the country has held NC State in check. And now Jake Hunter here in the 9th. Not so fast. Kozar to base hit. That'll score 1. Here comes AMAC for 2. And it's not over just yet.
Yeah, great job by Kozar getting a fastball right down the middle. Takes it out to the right center. 2 RBIs make this a 12 forward ball game.
And extend the hit streak to 3. Not the same as Carter Cunningham, who opened the year on a 24-game hit streak for East Carolina, the 9th longest in program history. The record was set by Brian Packard, 32 games back in 2018. And a big swing there for Josh Hogue. No DiMaggio type numbers, but no, about halfway there.
That's a tough one to beat.
And in the college season, that would go into the postseason too.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, what, probably getting a hit every single game?
And then in a regional, and then in the conference tournament,
yep.
And maybe even a super, if it lines up right, to get to the 66, sorry. East Carolina fans on their feet as Jake Hunter looks to put the closing touches on this one. That ball's lined to left and wraps things up. First win for East Carolina here in Raleigh since 2009. And the number 12 ECU Pirates take care of business here in this top 25 matchup.
Yeah, they sure did. Right from the get-go, they got out to a quick 4-0 lead. Groller kept this offense off balance from the start, but they looked dominant. Their bullpen was everything that we've talked about. It looked good tonight. That's why they're number 12 team in the country right now. It's a solid win for ECU.
12 runs, 13 hits for the Pirates, and that was plenty. It was a dynamic matchup of programs, and you got to look good, because when you look good, you play good, and when you're ECU, you played good tonight. Thanks for joining us here on ACC Network Extra. The crew having fun with me with my hair. I always appreciate that. AMAC facing his former squad, and for Andrew Simpson, I'm EvanBudrovich. Dominant win for ECU tonight. This is a presentation of ESPN. Thanks for joining us here in Raleigh as ECU wins at 12-4.